Hey everyone. Alrighty, so today's topic, some people would say it's really hard to talk about, but every topic should be a topic that anyone can talk about whenever they want to. So today's topic is about suicide. So thanks for joining me and watching this video. So I'm going to talk about two different people that's involved with suicides. I will address people who's thinking about it, and then I will address the ones that have lost somebody because of it. So, who am I? My name is Kelly Musart. I have my own business called BU LLC, and in the description, I linked a to my webpage if you're interested in doing any healing of the body. One thing that I do is together, we actually go and actually heal something out of your body completely, where it's not from the head. We actually heal it from the heart. And when you go into the heart to do healing, there is where you can actually release it completely out of the body. So that's what I do with my clients. So, on any topic, I don't actually sit and think about the topic. I let it all come just naturally. So it's all coming down, getting like a transmission as we talk. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about my own personal life with suicide. So for many, many years, probably started when I was a teenager that I can recall, I had this feeling of not wanting to be here on this planet anymore. Now, what I believe is that we're all from other planets and that we came here to experience life as a human. And with that, for me, kind of came that this life is too hard, that this planet is just too hard to be on the planet. So I've had thoughts of suicide most of my young, probably young teenage years. And then I actually tried to take my own life when I was about 19. So I'm going to go into my heart and say this story because it's easier to say it like in our minds because we won't even have any attached emotion to it. But when we go into the heart, that's where you can get the real emotion here. So give me a second while I go into my heart and I'm going to have a drink of water. So the heart, if you want to get into your own heart, there's different ways of doing it. But I would say the best way to do it, since this is a collective call, is literally take a moment, maybe take a deep breath, and really just focus on going into your heart. And if you haven't been in your heart in a long time, you're going to feel probably sadness, maybe anger, maybe overwhelm. Any and all the above can be happening when you go into your heart, but that's where you can instantly heal any part of you because we have to heal through the pain, and that's how we do that. Okay, so now that I'm in my heart, when I was 19, I couldn't live on this planet anymore. I did not have the best upbringing at all. I did not feel loved by no parent figure. I felt loved by my siblings, but I also felt more obligated to keep them safe. And that's probably what led me to keep like going and going. So maybe I would ask you like if you're one that's been thinking about it, what keeps you going? What keeps you on this planet? What keeps you going, right? So when I was 19, I basically got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. So then I thought, what would be a really fun, amazing way to leave this planet? Because I know, as I knew, that this was not the end, that this was not, there was just something more here than just this. And death, I've never really been afraid of death. So I thought the best way to do it is to just drink. So I thought if I showed up at a friend's, I chose a friend that was not the best of friend, was not responsible. All the things were that was perfect. That was the perfect person to have this experience with. And then we had tons of different liquors, lots of different alcohol there, and I was basically drinking anything and everything. So what happened was I actually don't recall most of the night. I remember just drinking and just like keep drinking. And then all of a sudden, what I remember is that I woke up and it was like this white light all around me. And I remember thinking that this was it, right? The white light, this is it. I achieved my purpose, what I was trying to do. And then all of a sudden, I heard my mom and I heard my uncle. And these two people in my life were very meaningful to me. And also, they were my best teachers. And they were the best teachers and the great teachers of not showing me what real love was, basically. So I heard and saw both of them. And I remember saying, no, this can't be right. You guys aren't dead. There's no way you guys are here. I'm like, oh my God, this must be my hell. And then as I said that, and I yelled that, by the way, I didn't say it, I yelled that, by the way. All of a sudden, I saw the whole room come into play, and I was actually at the hospital. So I got alcohol poisoning. And the friend found me in the bathroom and she called the ambulance. So she did the right thing to get me to the hospital where they could pump my stomach and apparently throw up, which I had it everywhere. But that moment of where I saw nothing but just like white stuck with me. It kind of got me on like, I needed to know what that was. And then it led me on a different path. Throughout that, my life personally, the feeling of the whole not wanting to be here, right? Ending it, it still came. So it came at different parts, different stages of my life. But it was something that I actually thought that I personally healed. And I didn't actually heal it until literally last weekend, almost a weekend ago. So let's talk about one thing. Suicide is a thing. If it wasn't supposed to be a thing, it would not be a thing. That means that when that word suicide would not exist. What one thing that I disagree with is people guilt tripping others that have thought about that. Calling I've heard people that did not realize that I had thoughts of suicide or that I actually tried to take my life. I've actually heard them say that that is selfish to do. And the thing is, for me, I can only talk about my experience. Thing is, selfishness has nothing to do with it. For me, it was the pain I had that I was carrying that I could not carry anymore. That's what it was with me. Now, one thing that I am is I'm also a medium. And I've go to people's houses and businesses and I cleanse them of spirits that are stuck. I will tell you this. The people that get stuck that has committed suicide, they always appear to me as like these really dark figures and very heavy because they carry that guilt, and that's why they never take the light. Not never, some of them do. But what I've experienced being a medium and going and actually cleansing houses and getting them crossed over is as I had conversations with these people, it was the guilt. I had some of them tell me that they had no clue that they were loved, and they actually thought they weren't loved, and that's why they did it. That they just did not know till after the fact. I had others that they felt that, like me, they just never wanted to be here. And then it got to the point where it was so heavy and dense that they went ahead and they did it. And then they didn't choose to take the light because they thought they were going to be judged. And I can tell you this right now, when we pass, this is not judgment. Okay? This is not where you go in front of someone that's almighty and bigger than you and judged every action you did. No, it isn't. This is experience that we all agreed to come in and take place. We are all one. We are all God. And we are all connected to one another. The thing that we like to do best is called separation. So we create separation. But deep in the heart, there is no separation. We are all connected. Hence, why you can come together. And I did a class on this literally last weekend where every one of us got in the heart and we helped heal somebody from love. As that's one way, the opposite way is in the mind, people coming together for not so great cause. People collecting together about fear of money, right? So do you see how you're always going to have both? There is no good, there's no bad. It's just, it is what it is. So let me shift over here and I'm going to just talk a little bit about if you are watching this video because you have lost somebody that has taken their own life. One thing that's coming very strong is that there is nothing you could have done to stop that person at all. So let go of that guilt because that person doesn't want you having that guilt. 2, if it would have happened any other way, it would have. It happened the way it was supposed to happen. I strongly believe that some of us are supposed to actually go through this experience called suicide. So, imagine that the person that you're thinking about that took their life, if you wanted to say something to them, what would you say? I would tell you to say their name because when you say their name, they instantly appear. That's how it works in the afterlife, in the other side, is say their name and they will appear. And then literally, what would you say to them? What would you say to them? Would you say that you're angry with them? Some of you have definitely have some anger there. But that anger is covering the real deep core emotion, which is guilt and sadness. Now, isn't that interesting that you have guilt as the person who did it has guilt as well? So it seems like everybody has guilt around it. Could it be the guilt is because it's more of a shame? Because everyone has been telling us for many, many, I don't know, as long as I can remember, that suicide's wrong, that it's bad, that you go to hell, fill in the blank, that it's selfish, that how could they do that and leave family and friends behind? Fill in the blank. But why do we not talk about suicide? Why do we get uncomfortable about suicide? The reason why we get uncomfortable and we don't talk about suicide because of all the guilt and shame that's around that word. That's why. But there shouldn't be any guilt and any shame. If you're someone who's thinking about it, has thoughts about it, maybe throughout your whole life, always not wanting to be here, there's no shame in that at all. It's your feelings right now, is that you don't want to be here. So I would always say, what's there's a reason you came. And maybe perhaps it's to experience this separateness, this knowing that there's something more than just what you see. So I'm not on your path, I'm on my path. And because this is a collective, I'm trying to hit everything that's coming through this transmission. I'm just relaying back. So if it resonates with you, then you keep it. If it doesn't resonate, then you don't take it with you. So for all the ones out there that so boldly clicked on this video, because perhaps you just want someone's view on it minus what your view is or what other people has made your view. So this is not take my view and take it with you. What this is that I understand you. I know where you're coming from. And I just want to let you know that it's okay. This doesn't mean that this will make the feelings go away. But perhaps go into your heart and see what's there with this whole suicide. What's going on? What feelings is there? Take away the shame and the guilt and just go into the heart and go, why is this happening to me? Because at the end of the day, the only person that this truly matters is actually you. That's it. And perhaps you say, hey, Kelly, I'm having a lot of pain. I've been always having so much pain in my mind that it's just a constant, what's the purpose? What's the point? And I would say, what is your purpose? What is your point? And maybe you're supposed to just feel this out. So, if you're someone who's have these thoughts of suicide and is just ready to get to the bottom of this, you have that fight in you of like, I just want this to be out of my mind, out of my body. I don't want to feel this anymore. Then that's why I put the description to the web page. In the description, there'll be my web page that you go into. And on one, we can go deeper into those feelings. And perhaps it's just healing that you have to release from the heart, not the mind, right? You have to go to the heart. The heart is where it's at. But I'm hoping with today that perhaps the word suicide stops becoming this, oh no, or this, oh, how could that person? And going back to the ones that who have lost someone, or maybe many people, to suicide. If you're someone who's lost many people to suicide, what I'm getting very strongly is a lot of guilt of like, what's wrong with you that people don't stay in your life, and there's nothing wrong with you. That was their path and that was their choice. And because I am a medium, if there's unfinished business and you really want to talk to that person or group of people, then again, reach out and we can set up a one-on-one. But as of right now, this is just all what's coming in as the collective. I'm not ashamed anymore to talk about I've had thoughts throughout my life of suicide, of not being here. I don't have the shame anymore. I don't have the guilt anymore because it was my path and I walked it. And I walked it pretty damn good. As you're walking your path and you're walking it pretty damn good. Your life purpose is you're doing it. Rock on. But I basically was getting pretty tired of watching these videos where people are saying, no, suicide's not good. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. And I'm like, if it's not meant to ever happen, then why is the word even existing here? How is that even an option if it was never meant to happen? Because it was meant to happen. So, like I said, the most things is so much guilt around that word. And so much, if you want to reach out, the fear of what will they think. And I would say this, if you truly want to reach out and talk to someone, do it. Because no matter what, if you choose to reach out, then right there tells you that your path is where you're supposed to reach out to somebody and talk about this and go really deep. Go really deep. And I will tell you this, through my experience, it seems like the more pain that we go through as a child and that abandonment or that not worthy enough or that not being loved enough really triggers something deep in us that probably activates the whole I don't want to be here. Because think about this. If you were like me and you got abused as a child, what is your self-worth? And back then in my life, I didn't really have much self-worth. And that's something that I do every day, is learning more about my self-worth and helping other people get into their self-worth and their power. But this whole suicide thing should not be shameful. It should not feel guilt trip. And hopefully one of the greatest things that I can achieve is not going and finding people who have committed suicide that has got stuck here because of fear or guilt or shame. That would be one of the greatest days. So, will that happen? Who knows? I guess I'll find out. But yeah, so yeah, let's just do a couple deep breaths. And just remember, it's okay to have whatever feelings that are arising. It's okay to have them. Those are your emotions. Feel it out. Right? Go deeper. Go into your heart. And I know some of you, no matter when you watch this video, doesn't matter. You'll watch it when you're supposed to. So, as a collective, some of you that will be watching this video will get to the point of, I speak your language. I understand you. That maybe what you're looking for is someone that understands you, that doesn't shame you, that doesn't give you a look of like, say what? What? That's wrong. Because I would never say anything's wrong. I would say that I'm here for you. And if you're so boldly to reach out, I'll be here for you. Now, I'm just going to see if anything else is going to come. Kind of feels pretty good right now, actually. So leave this with all the ones who have lost people. Just remember, you could not have saved them. They did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. It was their path. Don't be guilt or shame that you can't even talk about them. Have you noticed, like I've noticed this, if someone's committed suicide, the person has the hardest time getting there. They normally just say they passed, but they have the hardest time saying they took their own life. Why is that? Why is that? That's because of a conditioning that's been happening of like, that's shameful. They did that. Oh God, it must have been really bad. What did you do? You did nothing. So my heart goes out to each and every person who's lost someone that they cared about, that they loved. And my heart goes out to you where you feel so shame that you can't even talk about it. And maybe perhaps this video for you is don't walk in shame. Instead, have that power of like, that was their path. That's what happened. Don't beat yourself up. Like signs. Oh, should have saw the signs. Should have did this. Should have did it. Should have, could have, would have. If it was supposed to happen a different way, it would have. And that is where I'm going to leave everybody. If it was supposed to happen a different way, it would have. So if you're on the other side of that and you've been having thoughts of suicide, and maybe you've had them for a long time, there's no other way that would have happened. Those thoughts are yours, somewhat. Some of them can be a collective, especially if it's more intense. Some days it's more intense. You might actually be coming as a collective of how many people are feeling the same thing. You are not alone. Oh, I forgot about that one. My guys are just like, they're not alone. You are not alone. No one is ever alone. So if you're feeling like you're alone, just know you're not. You're not. And if you are feeling that you are not loved, you are loved. I love you. I'm sending you love right now, as I've been sending you love the whole time. I say honor whatever feelings come up. No longer be shame of the word suicide, of the thoughts of it. No longer. Shame doesn't heal anything. It just keeps more stuck in the head and basically just gives you more pain. Think about it. If you're someone who's like, why can't I get these thoughts out of my head? Why do I keep doing this? Why can't I be happy? I mean, that is exhausting, isn't it? To sit there and just blame yourself on the whole thing of like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be like someone else? Because you're not someone else. You're you. Just like I'm Kelly. You're fill in the blank. And maybe start with love yourself. Truly love yourself. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope that this has helped as many people as it's supposed to help. And like I said in the description, if you are someone who wants to reach out to schedule a session with me, then my website's there, and that's how you can reach out to me. And if you want to be more specific when you reach out, you can say that I watched your video on suicide and fill in the blank. Let me know what you're wanting out of it. All right, guys. You all take care of yourself. Remember, we are all souls, and we all come from love. So if you ever feel that you've never been loved, that's a false statement. And that just came, where I've actually like, oh, that hit me too. I was like, oh, we are souls. We come from love. So we have always had love. All right, till next time, everyone. I wish you whatever this path is supposed to be, basically. Bye.